Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Mine just started not too long ago, so that's awesome. Monday morning. It's a great day for a great day. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Our discussion topic is bibliotherapy and writing exercises. So first, you guys are smart. I'm sure you know what bibliotherapy is, but just in case you don't, good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me. In case you don't know what it is just therapy using books. I had never heard of bibliotherapy before until just this past year. I was working with my therapist, telling her all of the things I was working through and what I needed most. And because I've had therapy before, so I had CPT therapy, or CPT, the T is therapy, cognitive processing therapy, and just some general talk therapy. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So since I had CPT and talk therapy for a foundation, and currently my therapist, I see her online, so we do video chats, much like what we're doing here, except for I can see her too. And she recommended, since we weren't in the same room and it was very hard to initially get started and to kind of figure out what was going to be helpful, she listened to me for a while, and then she suggested we try some bibliotherapy where I could do the work, bring it back to her, we could talk about it and discuss it. The thing that I love about bibliotherapy is just the control that you have over your healing journey and what you're doing and what you're getting out of it. You have to be obviously in a mindset of healing and wanting to get to the other side, which I think most of us in this group are. So again, what it is just therapy using books, which I don't want to discredit it, but it kind of sounds like a big word for just using books for therapy. So I've used it because, again, it gives me an immense amount of control, and also because I have found in my life that I gravitate a lot towards writing. It's how I tend to express myself the best. I tend to get a lot of information from my own writing. I try very hard not to judge my writing, to just let it come as it comes to my mind, and really take time to get it out first, and then go back through and read it and pick out what you need to work on, what's kind of like negative self-talk, limiting beliefs that you're telling yourself that maybe somebody has told you or you picked up from somewhere, but that aren't necessarily true. They just kind of keep trapped in your frame of mind and where you are right now. So using it for thoughts and having a receipt, if you will, of my thoughts that I can go through and dissect. So I am currently still, I've talked about it a couple times in previous videos, but just in case it's the first video you are joining us for, I've talked quite a bit about my workbook, the Courage to Heal workbook by Laura Davis. That she has a book with another co-author that I did this exact same thing last time when I introduced this, but they have a book. It's called The Courage to Heal, without the workbook part, and I actually found it on Audible. So you listen to it rather than actually read it word for word, which the book talks a lot about Laura's personal experience with trauma and how she dealt with it at first, and just kind of goes into her healing journey a little bit, along with the co-author of the book. So it doesn't just take into account the author's personal experience. They, especially Laura, I believe, did like small groups, and she would take the information with their permission, um, and kind of gather the information that she got from the group and use it, um, to help others, to put it in a book and give people some reference point, allow people, other sexual abuse survivors, to feel connected to each other, which is truly one of the most important ways to heal, is stable, steady, safe connections with other people. um, as terrifying as it can be to think about that for a lot of us, especially after going through what we've been through, um, but there are still good people in the world, and it's just kind of a matter of healing your mind, so that, and your soul, so that your being, yourself, your vibrations, whatever you believe in, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is going to guide you in more positive directions if you are being more positive about yourself, is what I truly believe. So, yeah, I am still currently working in the Courage to Heal workbook, but along with that, there are some really great books out there as well. One of them being The Body Keeps the Score. It is also for abuse survivors, specifically sexual abuse survivors, I believe. But it talks about, let me get to my library here real quick, and so I can tell you, Ellen Bass is the co-author of The Courage to Heal. Ellen Bass and Laura Davis. I'm so sorry about that. The Body Keeps the Score is by Bessel van der Kolk, and he is a medical doctor, and it really just goes through how your physical body holds on to those memories, and like when you're triggered and you can feel it physically in your body has, sorry, my dogs are going crazy, your body keeps physical record of the trauma that you've been through, especially when your brain isn't able to process it. When your brain is in fight or flight mode, your memories are stuck back here, and they never fully form. They never fully are processed. And so they're stuck, much like the physical effects in your body are stuck in. You have to process those memories in order to allow your body to feel those memories, because your body doesn't know what is in real time and what is in the past. That's why you sometimes can maybe get physical reactions from your triggers, because your body, it doesn't know. Your brain in fight or flight mode doesn't know whether it is the present or the past. It only sees a threat. It only sees that your life is in danger. It is going to take you and try to make you safe, however your brain thinks that you need to be safe. So you carry a lot of things that you might not even know around in your body. Probably tense your jaw up a whole lot. I have a really hard time of like keeping a lot of tension in my forehead, so I've been really practicing like releasing it. The jaws, for sure, always clenching. Make sure you loosen those jaws up a little bit. Shoulders, like really tight muscles in general, which can lead to long lasting, like, I don't know if this has been proven or not, but it makes sense in my mind, like fibromyalgia, where you're just like constantly tense all the time, and then your nerves and your muscles and your body just stick. They stick like that. They get stuck, and it hurts. It's constantly painful, and that's in my shoulder blades. I get some pretty serious, intense physical reactions when I'm triggered. rapid heartbeats, sweating, sweaty palms, all well, pretty much all of the physical symptoms of a panic attack or anxiety that you can get, I probably get them. So, yeah, the body keeps the score is especially in the beginning, is very scientific, but it gives you a lot of wonderful facts that are super helpful. So, along with that, there is it's called, make sure I get the author's name correct so that you guys can look them up if you want to. So it's called Homecoming. Let me get my book details here real quick. It's called Homecoming, Reclaiming and Championing Your Inner Child. This is where one of the most powerful writing exercises I've ever done has come from. John Bradshaw, the author, does an amazing job of setting you up and guiding you through specific meditations in order to get you connected with your inner child. And in the meditations, he walks you through your physical adult self, caring for your little child self. Again, I had never heard of bibliotherapy before this year, and I have about 3 or 4, maybe 5 books in my either currently reading or to read pile. They're all virtual. And the writing exercises in this book and the guided meditations from Homecoming, Reclaiming and Championing Your Inner Child, I've only done 2 of them so far, you guys. I have gotten so much, like, not healing as you typically hear it, but like healing from the heart, like actual, when you think about your trauma and you feel those holes in your heart and you think about the childhood that you never had or what have you, and you feel that void. Doing these writing exercises, the first time that I've ever felt at least one, if not more, of those voids healing themselves and coming back together and growing back and making me whole. My therapist has this really beautiful visualization, I guess, for us as people and our healing journeys of, like, we right now may be, depending on where you are in your healing journey, we may be broken pieces shattered on the floor. And you can never put back a plate or a cup or whatever that is glass and has been shattered. You can try to put it back, but you will always have the glue lines. You will always have some kind of visible reference to like the fact that it's been broken, right? So rather than trying to put it back or put ourselves back to exactly how we were before, we take those pieces and we rearrange it into a mosaic and we make something beautiful out of it. We just make something beautiful out of it. Something that makes you happy. Something from the inside that makes you happy. So again, it was really impactful. So I am going to just read you 2 of the prompts that I did. I just want to make sure that I get them correctly. Okay. I think that is not it. Homecoming. Okay. So. Where is my writing exercise? All right. Basically, the writing exercise is, again, he guides you through a meditation and you connect with your tiny self. The first memory that pops into your mind about when you were a child, when you needed love, when you needed care, and it's something about his voice is very soothing, and it's beautiful. So I don't think this is very triggering, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. This is what it's my letter to my little self, and it says, "Dear little Courtney." That's what he has you do. He guides you through the meditation and has you visualize it and then write about it. So write my letter. This is my letter. Dear little Courtney, you are so smart and precious. Your blue eyes make the world brighter. Your laughter is beautiful and contagious. I love you. I will protect you because you are worthy, simply because you are. Every breath you take is another chance to show yourself and the world all you can do, which is anything you want. You are creative and caring and kind, but you are also fierce and strong. You can do anything you set your mind to. It is going to be okay. Whatever happens is going to be okay because you're a fighter and you know how to survive. It's okay to feel scared. Just breathe. It's okay to feel angry. Just breathe. It's okay to feel happy. Just breathe. It's okay to feel joy. Just breathe. As long as you are breathing, your heart can beat and you are alive. You know how. You're born doing it. You can do it anywhere and it will take you right to me. It will take you home. I love you immensely. I'm here for you. You are my heart and soul. Even just rereading that just now, like, I feel so much more connected to myself because I knew I wrote that letter to myself. I can almost cry. And I remember going through that writing exercise and that meditation and feeling those feelings of like safety and knowing that I was the person that brought my child safety, my child self safety. It was so beautiful and it made me feel so powerful. Like, yes, I can actually take this journey in my hands and carry myself through it and make a dang difference in my own life. And it's huge, you guys. I've told you before that writing and bibliotherapy, it can be extremely helpful, and it really can be. And I do strongly suggest that you give it a try, so long as you have some kind of mechanisms for coping. You have a support system, you have your therapist, you have your significant other who's super supportive, you have this group, whatever your support system looks like that you feel comfortable enough with in reaching out if you are in a panic or have a bad reaction to something that you've read. Somebody that you can read your writing to if you feel comfortable enough, in order to give you some feedback of, like, again, how you're talking to yourself, maybe limiting beliefs that you're not seeing or hearing in your thoughts, because it's really hard to be critical of yourself when you're trying to heal yourself, right? And it's not that whoever is hearing your writing is going to be critical of you. They are just going to bring awareness to you about things that maybe you didn't consider. Also, having support system in these writing exercises allows you to give yourself fully and know that you're still going to be safe afterwards. With that being said, I know that there are millions of people in the world affected by sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse, sexual assault. Whatever your sexual abuse looks like, it's valid. It should have never happened to you, and it's not your fault. 100%. It doesn't matter what you said, did, didn't do, didn't say. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It wasn't your fault. You as a person can not use your logical brain if your fight or flight response is in action. It is very hard. And if it is possible, it's still probably really skewed. So I don't want to tell you not to do this. I do want to encourage you to get a support system and have somebody that you can talk to about them, somewhere you feel safe talking about them. But I think there are so many beautiful resources out in the world. And, like, for example, in my Courage to Heal workbook here, the first few parts of it is establishing your safety net in your area where you're doing your writing exercises or your workbook work, um, in your mind. And it actually physically has you create a list of people that you can call in the event that you get triggered by something in this book, or you get re-traumatized by like a writing exercise that you're doing, which is it's a potential thing. So that's why you have to have some kind of support system. However, like I was saying, there are millions and millions and millions of people affected by this horrific thing that we're carrying around. And I know for a fact that a lot of those people are not able to afford therapy. They're not able to afford to go get help. So, my message to everyone is there's help out there. There's help out there. You just have to be very cautious about it and very safe. And the help comes in the form of these books. These published works that have been around for years. The Courage to Heal book has been around for years. And this John Bradshaw book has been around for quite some time. It came out in 1999. Okay, so these are tried and true. I do want to say that, like, never take anything full on. Like, you always want to be a little bit skeptical of things and take some things with a grain of salt. Some things are not going to fit you. Some things will fit you better than you might have ever even known. Some things won't fit you. You can't try to make everything fit for you. You have to know what's going to fit and what's not. And if something doesn't feel natural or like doesn't feel like it's connecting with you, just move on. But again, there are so many people out there who don't think that they can get help because they can't afford it. These books are available in your library, most likely. And if they're not, then maybe you can suggest them getting them, because it could be helpful to so many people even after you. But I would probably bet some money that at least one of these books is in your local library, if you have one close to you. So I've talked about The Courage to Heal, I've talked about Homecoming, and I've talked about The Body Keeps the Score. Those are just a few of the books that are available for bibliotherapy in reference to sexual abuse. There are a ton more out there. Those are just the ones that I am currently reading. And yes, I'm reading all of them at the same time. I kind of bounce back and forth depending on my mood and what I'm feeling, and if I want to do a little more meditation or a little more reading or a little more writing is what I tend to gravitate towards. What else I would like to say to you guys is that it doesn't just have to be books or writing exercises on sexual abuse. I do strongly encourage you to do work in that area. But honestly, one of the books that brought me back to my healing journey after being out of therapy for a little while, and it brought me back in a time where I really, 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 really needed to be in therapy. I just needed a little kick in the butt. And some of you may have heard of her. Some of you may not have heard of her. Some of you, if you've heard of her, may like her. Some may not. We're all different people. We have different opinions. We've had different experiences. Some things are going to work for some people and some things aren't. And some people, authors, what have you, are going to click with people and some aren't. And that's natural and that's totally okay. Doesn't hurt to try, right? So her name is Rachel Hollis, and she wrote a few fiction books beforehand, but she started writing like self-help books, if you will, for women. And it's kind of mostly for women. But her husband, Dave Hollis, has a book coming out called get out of your own way or something like that. And he takes a lot of the things that she's done from his perspective of being a critic of her at first and turns it around and say, no, here's how I was critical of it before. Here's how I turned it around and learned that it's actually really helpful. So if you are a male out there and you're watching and you are interested in like self-help that's not necessarily focused on sexual abuse, that can be super, super helpful. Still in your healing journey of just healing yourself as a whole human being, not just specifically in your sexual abuse experience. These people are amazing, in my opinion. I really love them. They also do a live show together every weekday morning, which is kind of where this idea sparked from. So I really love them together as a couple. Individually, they're awesome. So again, her name is Rachel Hollis. His name is Dave Hollis. They have a podcast together. If you guys are in relationships, they're super awesome. Again, they are not sexual abuse advocates necessarily, but they have dealt with a lot of trauma and things like that in her life. And trauma in general, as a blanket, can affect a lot of people in the same ways as specific traumas can. Like trauma, I don't want to say trauma is trauma, but it can affect you a lot of the same ways. Like her brother committed suicide and she had to deal with a lot of that. So anyway, they are amazing. And Rachel Hollis was actually her she has 2 books, Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing Right Now, that are self-help type of books. And they're the kick in the butt that you need. Sometimes you just need that friend that's like, girl, you're worth it. Or dude, you're worth it. Like, fix yourself because you're worth it. Fix yourself because you're awesome. Drink your dang water. Move your body because you are awesome and you are worth it. It's like that tough love from the safe older sister that you needed or something. But yeah, I mean, personally, that's just how I got the kind of kick in the butt that I needed to get back into therapy. Because it was like, go to freaking therapy. Like, do what you need to do. Why are you making excuses? Stop making excuses for yourself and do it. And I needed to hear that message at that time. And it really kicked me in my butt. And it got me back into therapy. My therapy led me to the Courage to Heal and Homecoming and The Body Keeps the Score. So it just kind of all fell into place. And it actually started from self-help, not from actual sexual abuse, bibliotherapy books. It's amazing what the universe and life can bring you in the time that you need it if you are willing to accept it. So I felt a little vulnerable sharing my letter to myself with you guys, but I was very happy to do it. It, again, made me feel more connected to myself this morning, which Monday mornings are kind of sometimes my hardest mornings to like get up and refocus back into the new week. So I actually got a lot out of reading that to you guys, and I hope you guys got a lot out of this discussion. If you are currently working in a book, whether or not you knew it was called Bibliotherapy, that's okay. I didn't know about it until a little while ago. Let me know what you're doing. If you're working in a workbook, or if you're reading a book, if you're listening to a book or a podcast. I think everybody is always looking for new additions to add to their arsenal as far as like awesome coping mechanisms and strategies, and bibliotherapy is one of them. So if you guys are working in a workbook or reading something, please drop us a comment. Let us know what you're reading, even if it's one of the ones that I mentioned. Let us know what's working for you. And if you haven't and you're interested in trying some of these books, I highly recommend Audible, especially for like The Courage to Heal and Homecoming. I mean, it's really, really helpful. It's really helpful. Thank you so much for that message, Kelly. Oh, that was beautiful. It touched my heart. You're so welcome. I think I get just as much out of this as you guys do, to be honest with you. It's just we're all here in community with each other. We are all one and the same. And I am so happy to be here. And I appreciate you being here with me. I appreciate you allowing me to be vulnerable. Um, yeah, so thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching and for being here. We are at time, unfortunately, but I will be back tomorrow discussing healthy relationships after trauma. I'm very excited about that. It is a complex topic, so it might last longer than the one discussion, but I'm excited for it regardless. You guys, have an awesome Monday. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. And remember, you can't pour from an empty cup, so make sure you're filling your cup. Literally with water, and metaphorically with self-care and positive self-talk, because as silly and small as it might sound, it really makes a big difference in your body, and your cells are listening to your body. So be kind to yourself, please. Please be kind. um, you guys, you are worthy of healing. You're worthy of healing, and you can do it. You can do hard things, and it's hard. It's hard. It's so hard. Growth is, it's freaking hard, you guys. Okay? It's really freaking hard, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it to feel in control, to feel a little freer, and to physically feel yourself coming back together. Even if it's as something new, which honestly it should be. You should be coming back together as something new, because you'll never be able to go back to exactly what you were before. You will only ever be changing, and everybody is only ever changing. We're only ever becoming a little bit new every day. So it's a great day for a great day, you guys. Take it easy. Love yourself well. Be well. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 7:30. Take care.